Hey, this is Mike. Got something really special to show you. 2015 Mustang GT with a 5.0 liter at Conway Ford, Conway, South Carolina. They were nice enough to let me show you this vehicle, and so let's check it out. Ford really did a good job with the 15 model. They really stepped up on a lot of features. The suspension, the traction, the airflow, and the looks, as far as I'm concerned, have really been really stepped up. One of the things you'll notice in the 2015 Mustangs is the Fastback design, and that is a really popular design with classic car enthusiasts and people. So I think they did a great job at recreating a really cool looking, classic looking design, something they really had going for them back in the day, where they're bringing that back. So that Fastback design is a massive success as far as I'm concerned. So let's take a look here in the front. It does have the projector, HID headlights, and then you have those kind of a glowing accent lights there. This one also has the fog lights. And you have the Mustang horse riding. Nice large badge there in the center of the grille. It really pops out at you. And check out that, just the overall stance and grille and shape of everything. Super, super stunning car. And I like the way it has these kind of bolstered hoods here. The hood kind of bolsters out to give you that really muscle car look. Since it does have the 5.0 liter big powerful engine in there, it does have to have that extra room to fit it all in there. And it also looks cool. Alright, so let's take a look on this side here. This is the this one does have the 15-inch disc rotors here, and they're ventilated with the 6-piston Brembo brake calipers, which is top of the line stuff. 19-inch painted aluminum wheels on this model, and Pirelli tires. Now all 4 disc brakes are ventilated, so when I say ventilated, it has space. Maybe you can see here. It has space between inside the caliper. It's like a sandwich together like this, and there's space with some slots in there. So basically, air can flow in and out, and as it heats up, it can escape easier. So, because once that disc reaches a certain temperature, it really reduces your stopping power. Your brake pads tend to not grab as the friction is much less. So it's basically kind of melting or you know, not really getting the traction on the brake pads as it should. So when you have a ventilated disc rotor, then you have a much better system. Now, most cars do have ventilated front, but since this is a more performance related car, it has ventilated in front and back. Let's take a peek in here on the passenger side. So you have the saddle brown seats, but everything else is pretty much black for the most part. Now you do see it is soft to the touch here and here, and also you have these brown stitching here to match the seats. And the sleek, sporty looking door with not a lot of nothing. It's not too busy looking, you know. It's just a sleek looking door. You do have a little cup holder, a little pocket there. I don't think it's a cup holder. And of course you have this metallic accent there. This one has a 12 speaker shaker sound system. So these 2 speakers here in the door are part of that 12 speaker system. So you do have the Mustang badge here in the threshold. And check out those seats. Saddle brown, perforated, heated and cooled leather seats with pretty significant bolsters on the side, but not too significant where it is gonna, you know, squeeze you or something like that. It's a good, comfortable seat, very comfortable actually. And you're really impressed with the manufacturers with new cars with the seat comfort, and you know, just about everything is very comfortable. It does have a power seat here with manual recline, and you do have some kind of polished metallic, I don't know how to explain that, trim here on the dash. But also you do have an illuminated lockable glove compartment that's pretty adequate in size. Let's take a look at the back seat. You can see the back seat is actually has bolsters in for the rear passengers, and it does have the latch system for the child seats. No problem there. And also, I don't know if you notice that the legroom is a little bit insignificant when the front seat's all the way back. So that's something to consider. All right. Let's move on. Now this does have a proximity key, and I just want to show you what the key looks like. So when the car is locked, here's the key. It's got the Mustang badge there on the back side, but when the car is locked, you can just basically walk up and touch the handle and it will unlock, just basically by touching here. You just touch here and it senses the key, it senses your hand on the handle, it unlocks. To lock it, you just put your finger here and it locks the vehicle. So unlock it, just push, just basically just put your hand there. You don't have to push anything. And this is just, it just senses your hand. You don't actually have to push that. It's not a button. All right. So this vehicle is running. It's pretty quiet when it's just idling. You have a lot of background noise, but hopefully you can hear it. Alright, so looking at the back of the vehicle, you can see it does have the triple light, kind of a classic Mustang design back here. And you got the big GT badge, very distinct, and it pops out just like the front. And so one of the things does have the backup camera lens right there. So so on the key, there's another feature besides lock and unlock, and that is open up the trunk. So you just push that twice and it pops open to that extent there, and then you just take your hand and lift it up a little bit and it'll go all the way up. So looking in here in the trunk, we do have a pretty decent sized trunk. It's not a, you know, station wagon or anything like that, but it is adequate for some luggage or whatever. There's a subwoofer for the Shaker 12 speaker system. One thing I want to point out, this vehicle does not have a spare tire. It does have a tire inflator kit, which it does have some, you know, sealant and things like that in there, but the spare tire is an option if you want to buy a spare tire. So definitely, I would definitely recommend buying a spare tire, but at least know when you're buying a vehicle that it has a spare tire or not, because not all of them have it. And some people, you know, don't care. They just call somebody to come change their tire anyway, so they're not really concerned with that. And that's fine. So here is the fuel door, and you can see it. There's no cap. It's a capless design, and so you just put the fuel nozzle in there, pump the gas, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about losing your cap or having the cap loose and triggering a check engine light or anything like that. So let's take a look under the hood. There is some ventilation, induction type ventilation holes there in the hood that actually do go all the way through. And let me get the hood up here. Alright. 5.0 liter V8 modern muscle engine. Then you have the bolster there for your struts, the McPherson struts. Got the big 5.0 badge there. But they really braced the suspension system in the 15 Mustang to really make it handle around corners a lot better, and also taking off. You don't squat in the rear, you don't nose dive in the front, and all that good stuff. So pretty awesome. So let's take a look on the inside. All right, so let's take a look at the driver's door. It's basically a mirror of the other side, except for it has a little bit more controls here. It does have the 2 speakers and the pocket there in the same trim. Now it does have in addition to the door lock controls, it also has these 1, 2, 3 buttons. They correspond with the adjustments on the power seat. So you can have 3 different presets. So where you can, once you get in the vehicle, you can have it preset to a certain distance and it'll go there. Power windows are right here, and also your side mirror controls, pretty self-explanatory there. It does have automatic headlights, and there's your fog light button there, and basically you can now also put it on, off position, and there's the parking lights. There's the headlights, and then there's automatic. It'll automatically turn on and off depending on your lighting conditions. This button to the right, those buttons there are your interior lighting, your dimmer switch. All right, so there's lots of cool stuff inside the 2015 Mustang that I know you're going to be excited about. So here's the steering wheel. It is a leather wrap steering wheel with some slight handles there, like a little bit of a bolster there on the steering wheel. It is a leather wrap steering wheel with the matching stitching on the inside here. On the right, you see there's tons of buttons. So let me go through them one at a time. These buttons here correspond to your radio. So like say you can change your radio up and down, and also change to the tracks, and also you can push that button to change through your presets there. That M. Down here you have, once you pair your cell phone, your smartphone with the Bluetooth system, you can receive calls here, hang up on calls there, mute your radio and your calls there. Also, this right here is for your voice recognition. So I'm going to push that just so you can get an idea of what it sounds like.
Please say a command.
Help.
Main menu. Say a device name, like phone, climate, USB, CD, or radio. To get help with a specific device, say the device name and help, like phone help. You can interrupt me at any time by pushing the voice button. Phone is always active, so you can say things like, call John Smith. To hear an introduction to your system, say voice instructions. For sync support, call 1-877-94...
Cancel.
Canceling.
Okay, so I think you get the idea. It does have a easy to understand voice, and you can of course adjust the volume. I don't have it too loud, but you can adjust the volume with the volume knob there while it's playing. So and you can say commands like tune to a certain station. You can also say call a certain person, just stuff like that. So the voice command system, the voice recognition system in the 2015 Mustang is like a super awesome safety feature, because when you are driving on the road, the last thing you want to do is start fumbling around with your phone. So you can also fumble around with the radio, or pretty much anything. You want to keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel, and you can do that with the voice recognition button. You can adjust, go to a certain station, call people, all kinds of cool stuff with the voice recognition. So that's that side of the steering wheel. Now on the left side, your cruise control is down here. So you just have to make sure it's turned on. You can have on and off, and it'll give you a little indicator on the dash there. And once it's on, you can set it with one of these buttons here, and then you can resume and cancel with these buttons. So it's basically the same controls that you've seen in cruise control for the past, I don't know, 30 years or more. They're just arranged in a real neat modern design. These buttons here, they are your correspond to the screen between the gauges. So I'm going to use these buttons to show you. You can see it has the arrows and OK. Those are the buttons I'm going to use to show you this screen. Now before we do that, I just want to point out that the gauges are really nice, fancy, a little bit backlit gauges. And you can kind of see the backlit now, even though it's during the day, because I have the shade up, so it's not too, the sun's not interfering. But so you can see it's got the fuel gauge there, and it says ground speed, which I think is pretty cool. I like the way they kind of add some turns there. Ground speed, as if you're going to take off. And also on this side, it actually spells it out. Revolutions per minute, RPMs. And then you got your temperature down there. Okay, so this is the screen I was talking about. And so basically, let's see if I can get a good view of it. Okay, so this screen right now, and I'm in gauge detail. So I'm going to go back out just to show you the very beginning. So this is the main menu, and the main menu has gauge mode, trip, fuel, track apps, which you're going to be excited to see, driver assist, and then you got settings. Then it scrolls back up. So you get the idea. It scrolls up and down, then you can go right into a certain setting. So I'm going to go into gauge mode, and so right now there's a kind of a summary, but I can get more information. So like this air fuel ratio, which is, I've never seen that in the vehicle, pretty cool. I can go into that and actually see a gauge real time. I can get back out of that by pushing left. Cylinder head temperature, I can go into there, see a cylinder head temperature gauge, so that's awesome. Air intake temperature, can see a gauge for that. Oil temperature, voltage. So you can go in there, if there's something that you really want to pay attention to, you can really go in there and get that information like front and center. And scrolling down, okay, so let me scroll down again. Distance to empty, you can have that as your front and center. Tire pressure, and then it scrolls back to gauge detail. So I'm going to scroll back to the main menu. Let's go down to trip and fuel. So the trip, you have trip 1, and you'll notice it gives you the miles to empty, it gives you average miles per gallon, it gives you the miles that you've driven during that trip, and the time. So you get a lot of information besides just a trip counter. And you have trip 1, trip 2, and then you've got your fuel economy in the real time as you're driving will give you that. And then the fuel history, basically your average last 30 minutes. Alright, so let's go down here. Track apps, there's where the fun part begins. Alright, so you got an acceleration timer, and so let's say I want to choose quarter mile. I go into that, countdown start, go into that, and then it gives me a Christmas tree. And I hit OK, and it'll tell me, it'll count down, and then I take off right there when it's time to take off, and it measures, it measures everything. So I think that's really cool. Now you could have an automatic start to where once you take off it starts, but the countdown start that's just cool. That's just awesome. All right, brake performance. Check this out. So we go in here. Let's see here. So we got the brake performance. You can basically see how fast you can go from 60 down to 0, and it'll time you, and you can measure it and get your best time. Can't really demo that, but line lock is where you want to lock, like you want to have like positive traction, the most amount of traction you possibly can out of your rear tires. So pretty cool feature there, and you can engage there. All right, so it's canceled because I'm not really doing anything. So all right, launch control, and we can enable that if we wanted to. And this is track only stuff. So basically, you know, once you reach a certain RPMs, it's going. I don't know exactly how the launch control works on the manual transmission. It might wait till you get to a certain RPMs. I'm not really sure, but it'd be cool to find out. Let me get back here. And then you can clear the raw results, so you don't want to, you know, other people find out that you're really hot rodding. But I think you know, probably be bragging about it actually. And then you got an accelerometer. And that is a G-force meter. So like say your left and right G-forces, your braking G-forces, your vehicle will be going forward, and will give you the G's going forward, and then the acceleration G's. So you can get all these G-forces measured here. You can see how really fast you're taking off and slowing down and cornering. Pretty awesome. You can have that front and center looking at it while you're driving. All right, driver assist. This will give you, you know, basically you can turn on and off your auto engine off, blind spot, cross traffic alert. Now your blind spot monitor, this one does have that, and when a vehicle's in your blind spot, now cross traffic alert works with the blind spot monitor. It does this, it's the same system, but it uses it in a different way. The blind spot monitor, when there's a vehicle in your blind spot, let's see if I can show it to you. It's not illuminated now, but there is a little symbol there on the side of the side view mirror, and it will illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. Now, if you were to put your turn signal on in that direction, it's really gonna get your attention. So, so that's your blind spot monitoring. Now, cross traffic alert uses that same detection system to sense vehicles that are coming in on you. Let's say you're in a parking lot space, a perpendicular parking space, and there's a car to the right, car to the left, and you're backing out. You can't really see past those cars, so you kind of have to you know, inch back and wait and keep looking and keep looking. Well, the cross traffic alert helps you with that, and it will alert you if a car is coming from either direction. So, I mean, you still have to look and everything, but that is a really added safety feature there. And then the hill start assist will work with your brake system to keep you from rolling back too much when you're going up a hill. All right, and then you can go into settings and adjust the screen the way you want, like different colors and stuff like that. And so that's your, you know, that's pretty much the main features there. You do have at the top right, it says northwest. That means the vehicle is facing northwest. You do have your odometer there at the bottom where it says 197 miles. And then where it says set, that is actually your cruise control letting you know that it's on. So that's what I was talking about before. So that's a pretty neat system there that's right there in front of you while you're driving. Let's take a look at the big picture here. Alright, and you probably noticed that it has more gauges over here. It has an oil pressure gauge and a vacuum gauge, which I think is awesome. Now, it is not in inches of vacuum. It's a little bit different. I guess it would be in, no, it's can't, I don't think it's inches. It's in a different measurement. I'm used to inches of vacuum, so and you know, if that was the case, it would probably the reading would have to be in the 20, you know, 18 to 22 range. So this one's a little bit different than that, but it does give you the ability to see, you know, your vacuum while you're driving, and I guess you don't want to, like, say when you rev it up, it opens up the throttle and it lets more air in all of a sudden, so it has a drop in vacuum all of a sudden. So it's pretty neat. I've never really driven a vehicle with a live vacuum gauge right there where I can see it when I was driving. I usually use that for diagnostics. But anyway, I think that's pretty cool. Alright, so here is your screen, your 8-inch screen here, and pretty much all the Fords have this similar design because it works really well. you have the kind of a 4-corner design. Your phone is up here. Once you pair your phone, you'll have your
Search for
information
sync on
there.
your device and select sync
So we
once
don't
it
want
is
to add a
found.
device right now.
Search for sync on your device and select sync once it is found.
Alright, so I'm not doing that. So there's the screen there. Once you pair your device, when you're calling somebody, sometimes it'll show their picture if they have that available. But you can dial with that keypad there, or you can have, access your phone book, your history. You can actually do some messaging, voice messages on here. So pretty cool system there. All right, so let's go back home, pushing this home button. And then you have information up here. And this will just give you like alerts. You can go into your apps, that kind of stuff. Now, I don't know if the navigation can be added to this vehicle. Sometimes you can add navigation to these systems. That's something you'd have to talk to your dealer about. And it would add it to that corner there. Now, entertainment, this is where you'd find like your radio stuff, playing music. You can play music through AM, FM, satellite radio, CD, USB, and there's even more. You have your Bluetooth radio. Like once you pair your phone, if you got music on your phone, you're playing music through the sound system wirelessly. Also, you can play music through an SD card or a line in, which is an auxiliary input. So you have all those ways of playing music through the sound system through the Shaker Premium 12-speaker sound system, which kicks butt, by the way. All right, so let's push this home button there. We go back to the main screen, and the last corner is climate. So this gives you a detailed look of what's happening on your climate and your change. Let's say if you want to change the airflow, you want to, so right now I have the cooled seat here on the passenger side. It does have heated seats, cooled seats here in the front, and you can fine tune it however you want with the climate, and then you can always go back home. And at the top, you'll see that the clock and the outside temperature is always available, as well as your home screen and your settings, little gear settings screen buttons there. Those are always there on the screen, so you can always get back out of wherever you go. All right, you do have a nice big volume knob here, kind of chrome finish, and then you can tune through the stations on that side. You can eject your CD, which your CD goes in right here. It's kind of hidden, I guess. So you can change through the tracks. You can also, turn off your radio if you want to do that. Climate control buttons are down here. This is a redundant system to where you have it on the screen and you have it down here for easy access. And you can adjust your temperature like so. And you'll notice it will change it up on the screen there. And I've got my cooled seat. We can also turn the heated seat on if you wanted to instead. And where you want the air to blow, you can have it on automatic. Your fan speed is here, all that cool stuff. This is actually your start button. So to start the vehicle, you get in, it senses the key. You can keep the key right in your pocket. And let's go ahead and turn it off and start it back up so you can see the process. Now the seat's going into exit mode. So now I just put my foot on the clutch, foot on the brake, make sure it's a neutral, and then I just push this button. Cranks right up. That's a habit, by the way. Driving a stick every day, make sure it's a neutral before I take my foot off the clutch. Okay, so to the right of that start button, we have these, they look like toggle switches, but really they only go up, they kind of just go up. So I'm going to start here. This is your 4-way flashers, so you can turn them on and off. So that one is more like a toggle switch. And this one is your traction control, your stability control. You can turn that off, and it will alert you up here that it's off. All right, and on. And then this button here, let me get a better angle here. So you got these last two buttons. This one is for your steering. So let me move the camera over here, and I'm going to push this button and see what happens. So right now it's giving me the normal, it's letting me know that I'm in normal steering mode. I'm going to push it again to show you again. Normal, I can push it again, it goes to sport. Now push it again, it goes to comfort. So sport would be more, you know, you really feel the road really good. Comfort would be you just have maximum amount of steering power and you don't really feel the road. And then kind of normal is kind of in between that. All right, so that last button there on the right, this is your mode button. So this is a real easy way of changing a lot of settings, you know, to get a certain drive feel. So I'm gonna go ahead and push it now. And so right now we're in normal drive mode. So basically just normal everyday driving. All right, so I'm gonna push it again. It gives me Sport Plus, which gives me a little bit more, you know, focus on performance as far as the engine and braking and steering. Push it again, it gives me track. You notice it has a helmet there because it's made for off-road use only. It will give you the highest performance this vehicle is capable of. And then push it again will give you snow and wet. So if you're on a slippery environment, you put it on there and the vehicle will kind of help you out as far as the traction control and stuff like that, maybe even the steering and all. So so those are the different drive modes. Just quickly pushing a button and you can enter any of those drive modes really easy. So you do have a power supply, 12 volt here. There's your USB port for playing music through the sound system. You have a little quick access pocket there. I guess you could put your cell phone there, stuff like that. Now here's your shifter. It is a 6-speed manual transmission, and what I like about it, one of the things I really like, this is the best thing I like about it really, is the ability to, you'll notice it has reverse to the all the way to the left and up. But while you're driving, you can't just go that way and go up. You actually have to lift this piece here and it goes all the way over and goes into reverse. And when you put it in reverse, the backup camera pops up, so they give you an idea of what the camera looks like. It's nice and clear, the colors are pretty crisp. It is a wide angle view, so you have those lines there to kind of show you where you're going to back up to. Now I'm turning the steering wheel, and you'll notice that the lines, because it has like a shadow line that's moving, that gives me an estimated trajectory of the vehicle as I'm backing up, because that wide angle view distorts the view a little bit. So they want to give you just kind of more of an estimated direction in which your vehicle is going, and also the size of your vehicle. So you'll notice, you'll see the bumper all the way up to the sky. So there was a car in my back there that drove by and it gave me a warning, which is good, alerting me so I don't accidentally bump into something. So yeah, you can see the bumper to the sky. You got a really good visibility with the backup camera, and it's a big screen as well. All right, so back to the shifter. So that's how you go in reverse. This has to be lifted up. So when you're normally driving, you don't have to worry about going into reverse accidentally. You can cycle through first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You don't have to worry about maybe, you know, because some of them have the reverse all the way to the right and down, and sometimes, you know, with a 6, if you're used to a 5-speed and all of a sudden you got 6-speed, you're like, well, that's normally where reverse is. So anyways, really good feature there, and you'll notice that it has a short throw shifter system there, so you don't have to, it's really easy to find the gears there. Cup holders are here, and you'll notice they do have some green illumination in the bottom of the cup holder, some ambient light, as well as some there at the top. It looks pretty cool at nighttime. There's your parking brake here, just pretty much standard lifted up. Mustang badge over there, since 1964. 50 years of awesome cars. And the rear view mirror is has an auto dim feature. You can't really notice it, but in the center there is a light sensor, and it will adjust the amount of light coming in and reflecting in your face based on, you know, if it's too much light, it will dim down. All right, so you do have some, you know, reading lights up here, quick access lights, and here's a microphone for your Bluetooth system. The visor does have a mirror with lights, and a little clip here for putting stuff. Same thing on the other side. You also have your home link garage door openers here on the other side of the visor. All right. See what your visibility looks like back there. So you're impressed? Do you like it? Let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. If you have any experience with this vehicle, you've purchased one, maybe you took one for a test drive, please let me know in the comments as well. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, I do not work for Conway Ford. I do like Conway Ford, and they're nice enough to let me share these vehicles with you. So, you know, I don't work for them, I work for you. So if you could send me a tip, I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out with the expenses of making these videos and traveling and all. And so yeah, you know, and also if you can like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, that would help out as well. So 2015 Mustang GT, redesigned to be more awesome. And if you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments. See you next time.